And a good Thursday evening, everybody. Chris McDonald with you on a late night Thursday. We're so grateful to have you. And we have got a dear, dear friend. Hadn't had him in a while. But boy, I tell you what, we're grateful he's with us tonight. Rorlando Rodriguez, the man, the legend from the Rio Grande Valley with us tonight. And buddy, it's so good to see you. And hadn't had you. I know you've been busy. You've been trying to get all these Republicans. My cowboy hat looks hideous tonight. I'm going to have to just take that off. We're going to have to fix that cowboy hat. I don't wear it as good as you. It's good to see you, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, my friend. It's so good to hear from you again. Thank you again for the invitation. And yeah, we've been traveling the country, working in different campaigns for different, conservative friends.
You sure have. And I know you did everything you could in Virginia and also New Jersey, and just things didn't go the way we had hoped there. But, we got to keep fighting, buddy. And I know you're in Texas tonight, and want to talk to you a little bit about the landscape and also this border situation. It's been actually, Rorlando, since I've seen you, President Trump has basically, I've read so many reports that the border right now is the most secure U.S. border we've had in history. This goes way back to Carter, Nixon, Reagan, Ford, you name it. I mean, this border tonight is as secure as we've ever seen it. And I know that's good news for you because you're down in that Rio Grande Valley. And what's it like? What's it like experiencing that? I know there's still great danger down there with the cartels and all, but at least the border seems to be stabilizing, and the Dems are doing everything they can to stop it. But President Trump is sticking to his guns, and we're going to talk about ICE and some other things with you tonight. But what's the border like in South Texas tonight?
Well, it's Christopher. I really thank God for President Trump. Ever since he took office, the border it's extremely secured, and just like what you mentioned a while ago, you are 100%, accurate. Probably right now we have the most secure border in the history of the USA.
I'm so glad to hear that. Rorlando, I know you live there, but you've been traveling, as you said, all over the country. Have you encountered any of these protests and all of these terrible things that are going on? Like they are in Minneapolis in your travels? It's a disgrace, buddy. Me and you've known each other going on 7 years now. I mentioned 2019, and we have been to the border 3 times down there with you, and I'm looking forward this year, maybe or next, to come down for the 4th and maybe 5th time. But we've stood side by side, and we've seen the border at its worst. We're grateful that it's at its best, but there's still a lot of forces, man, that want this illegal immigration to keep going. And ICE seems to be on the front lines. What are you seeing in the cities that you're traveling, and what's your thoughts and what you're witnessing in Minneapolis and Minnesota tonight? It's just this thuggery's got to stop, does it not?
Well, Christopher, I've been, watching what's been happening in Minneapolis, especially Minnesota, and it is a disgrace. The ICE is simply doing their job, going after criminals. That's it. And especially in Minnesota, Joe Biden brought I don't know how many thousands of people from Somalia, and they've been stealing our money, sending our money back to Somalia. And ICE is just doing, what they have to do, only just going after criminals. And it is a disgrace, that all these crazy people, is blocking ICE from doing their job. Now, what I saw a video a couple of days ago of this lady, and she explains very well, how these people is very well organized in Minnesota. Somebody tells them, everything where ICE is going. I mean, if ICE is going north, these protesters in north part of Minneapolis, they go and they block ICE. If ICE turns around and they go south. There's another protesters south, and I mean they're just after them. They are very well organized. This is organized crime. This is organized crime. I really think it's Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and all these ONGs behind these rioters. They're getting paid, for doing these, Christopher.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'm glad you said that because I believe that too, Orlando. That we're a little frozen here on the computer right now. We'll get unfrozen. There we go. I'm with you. I do believe that they've been paid. When you were in New Jersey and Virginia trying to campaign for the Republicans, were you surprised at how the margins of the Democrats were when they won these elections, these special elections? Do you think it was something more the candidates, or do you think it was something else going on?
You know what, Christopher? A good question. Me, I interviewed, Christopher, at least, let's say, 2,000 people, okay?
Yes.
And 97% of the people that I interviewed, they supported the Republican candidate, Mr. Jack Ciattarelli.
Yeah.
And my friends that went there to help me, in their interviews, they experienced the same thing, And then I met other people, that worked, side by side with a candidate, and they told me the same thing, that most of the people they interviewed, they were voting Republican, or they are Republicans. But the big surprise, on election night is that all of a sudden the Republican candidate lost the election.
Right.
And that has been happening all over the nation, not only in New Jersey. And this is what concerns me, Christopher. I'm not sure, or no, let me put it this way. I don't think that the Republican Party is doing the right job.
Right.
Bottom line, because if they would follow the procedures on how to protect the election, the chain of custody of the votes and everything, I think we would have a different story. But something is going on in the Republican Party that is not helping us. Democrats, they do whatever they can to win. They don't care. They even cheat to win. We don't do that. But at least we should do what is right, just to be aware, to have people in certain areas and in certain places, aware, of the election. And I don't think we're doing that. We're not doing it right.
Right. It's a given that we're not doing something right, and I'm with you. What do you think? Where do you think that's? Is it mainly the way we're handling Congress, Rorlando? Is it? What do you think? Is certainly? I don't know if it's the economy. The economy. Look, we've got gas prices low again. Grocery prices are coming down. Inflation's coming down. What exactly do you think is happening in the Republican Party? Because I was really shocked. I wasn't shocked that these two blue states went blue, but I was shocked at the margins because I sure thought that we use that New Jersey would be a lot closer. And I thought Virginia would be a lot closer, but these Democrats, and Mandami in New York, he won going away up there. But what's your thoughts on why this is happening? I know that I think we're in agreement the Republicans are not doing their job. Do you think it's because we're letting the Democrats run over us and people want us to stand up and we're just not doing it?
Give me a second, Christopher. Wait a minute. You know what, Christopher?
Yeah.
I think that the Republican Party we have to focus more in engaging people. I think that the Republican Party, look, I'll give you an example. In South Texas, where I live, there's an organization by the name in Spanish, by the name of La Lupe. This organization, they motivate people to work in campaigns, especially. They pay them. They, I don't know, they get all kinds of free stuff. And, they do it the Democrat way, okay? I don't believe in that, but they do it the Democrat way. But it gives them a result at the end of the day.
Yes.
They get the vote. They get what they want. And, this is unbelievable, but once they told the people that they had to knock doors and tell the people that it was okay if they would pay more taxes.
Right.
and they were doing it. But I think that us as Republicans, or not us, but the Republican Party, the elite people in the Republican Party are not qualified to be there, really.
Fair enough.
I think, you know what I believe, and it really hurts even in my heart, Christopher, that, and you're a witness of this, I've been working all over the country in many campaigns. I supported President Trump in different states, and me and together with Bianca and other friends, we've been trying to engage with the Hispanic community, all over the country. And guess what? We never receive any support from the Republican Party.
I've heard that over and over. Rorlando, go ahead. But I got something to say about that. Keep going.
None at all, okay? And we've done so much that you're a witness. Even where I live, we turned the Hispanic vote in 2020 from 10% Republican in over a century and 90% Democrat, 10% Republican in over a century, and we turned the vote in 5 months to 50-50. Well, the Republican Party never called me. They never called Bianca. They never called us and said, hey, how can we help you? You guys are doing great. How can we help you? They never do that. So there is something wrong, in the Republican Party that is not helping the nation. You know what I believe? Just with these two groups of people in the nation, okay? The Hispanic vote and the Christian vote. The Christian vote doesn't matter the race. It can be Hispanic, Anglo, Japanese, whatever. The Christian vote. If we would teach Christians why we should never vote Democrat, we will never lose an election.
I'll agree. I'm so glad you said that. And Rorlando, the question I got for you, and folks, if you're just joining us, we got our dear friend Rorlando Rodriguez with us. He's a dear warrior down on the border, and he has just been a dear comrade of mine, friend, and just love him to death. And we're so grateful to have him. We hadn't had him in a while. But I want you to sort of speak more about the Christian vote and the Dems. How do Christians vote Democrat, Rorlando? Because it does happen. There's a lot of Christians that voted for Joe Biden. There were a lot of Christians that voted for Kamala Harris. Is it racial or is it just spiritual? Is it these churches are not getting leadership from the pulpit and the pulpits are telling them to vote liberally and vote against conservatism, or is it just Trump hatred? Why do you think there's so much animosity with the Christian community toward President Trump? Because there's a lot. Now, there's not everybody that feels that way, but there is an element of the Christian faith that can't stand Trump's guts.
Yeah, well, you know what I think? It's all misinformation. I think the pastors and the Christian leaders, they are not open to the political realm. They preach that a person to receive the Lord, which is fine and which is the best decision we can make in life, receive the Lord in our hearts. And from here, we go to heaven. And they miss all the year that we still have to be here on earth.
Right.
And but while we are still here on earth, we have to vote the right way.
Yes,
if not, we're going to pay a price for it.
No, I'm with you 1,000,000%, brother. I'm with you. But why do Christians vote? What is your feeling that we vote the way we do? Because that's a problem. And I think you said something a while ago, and I want to sort of ham in on this. If the Christian voted as they're supposed to vote, you wouldn't have a Democrat in office. You wouldn't get a Democrat elected to a janitor's role. You just wouldn't. They wouldn't be elected janitor to Motel 6, Rorlando. We would have a rule of law on this planet, because this is the way I look at it. To me, it's about law and order. The Democrat Party has become the lawless party of America. They promote lawlessness. They promote chaos. They promote division. They stoke racial fires. They spoke gender fires. They spike every kind of division they can in this country, lying through their teeth. I've never seen a group of more pathetic liars than I have the left and the right. But look, it's like my old friend James R. used to tell me. Republicans have got their problems because, as you said, we're not perfect. But the Dems, they're just insane. And I can't add the words that James added to that, but I'll just say that they're just insane, okay? And they have lost their mind, but they have become a lawless party, my friend. And I got another friend, Eric Karen, and I tend to agree with Eric. I think the Democrat Party needs to be outlawed in America, because how many people have been killed? You're a witness to this down on that border. Rorlando, how many people in the Rio Grande Valley lost their life during that invasion, during the time that these cartels and all these rapists and murderers and all these pedophiles were coming across the border, trafficking these kids? How many children were lost? How many adults were lost? How many women were lost? How many men were lost? How many people have to die before we get the fact that there's blood on the hands of these political parties, man? And somebody's going to have to stop the political party. We got to stand up to it and vote. Correct?
Yes, the voting system is a privilege that we all have, but we don't take advantage, of having this privilege. In Cuba, if they would tell people in Cuba that they had the opportunity to vote for a good guy or a bad guy, they would be happy, to go vote and to be part, of a voting system. Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have here, Christopher.
That's so true.
We don't. And a person told me a few days ago, "Oh, I'm tired of all the text messages I receive in my phone by all these people running, in for office." And I didn't say anything back to this person. He was an old man, and I respect him and everything. But I said to myself, man, if he would know that every people in Cuba would love to receive a text message, about a political candidate, and for them to have the chance to go vote. And they don't have it.
Right.
They don't have it. So, Christopher, if we would just educate our pastors, our Christian leaders, and the Hispanic community, I mean, everybody else, of course, but this is just an example, of my own personal view. We will never lose an election. Never. Right. Never.
I totally agree with that. Do you believe? Are you in agreement with me that we need to have voter ID? Going back to the election system, do you think voter ID is mandatory? Should be mandatory before you go in that voting booth?
Do you know that if you go to Mexico, you cannot vote if you don't have a voter ID?
I know that. And if you try, what's going to happen to you? You should tell our audience what happens to you down in Mexico if you try to do those kind of foolish things. You get shot, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this tonight, buddy. I'll keep you about another 10, 15 more minutes. I know it's late, but I do want to ask you, how's the cartel situation along the border? I know the border has become the most secure it's become in over 50 years.
Yeah.
But I know that we do not need to believe that the cartels do not still pose a threat to this country. Is that a fair statement? I mean, you're down there in the midst of it. What are you seeing along the Rio Grande Valley that disturbs you right now? Anything that we still need to be praying about and concerned about along that border? Even though there is good news that President Trump's doing a great job down there, but there is still some issues down there, isn't it?
Well, Christopher, as soon as I mean, I really don't go to Mexico that often, but once in a while, I really have to go. And as soon as you cross the border to Mexico, this is the first feeling you have. You don't feel safe.
Right.
You're driving and you're looking at the mirror. You know who's following you on the back, who's behind you. You know, and it's just like a normal feeling in Mexico because you don't feel safe. Cartels are everywhere. There's people that work for the cartel. It's hard to tell them who to tell who they are, and they're watching you. Okay, the thing is, they're still there. They're still dangerous. And I just heard a good comment like a week ago. A friend of mine called me from Guadalajara, Mexico, and he said that something he heard, I think, in his area where he lives in Guadalajara, that the cartels are planning to go to Europe because now it's so hard to bring drugs to the USA.
Right.
So, no, but we don't want them here. We don't want them in Europe. We don't want them anywhere. They are just bad people, and they belong in jail. That's where they should be.
They should be in jail. I'll agree with that, buddy. What's the overall feeling? We hadn't talked in a mighty long time. I know that we haven't even talked since Charlie Kirk's. It's been that long since we've had you.
Yes.
What was what's your take on where the country's at 5 months after Charlie Kirk is dead? Was assassinated, buddy. That was a fine young man. What's Rorlando Rodriguez's opinion about this country and violence? Are you in agreement with me that we've got a lawless problem here in this country? That crime is I mean, President Trump's doing everything he can to put a quelch on it, but brother, I tell you what, we're in the most violent time I've ever seen in my lifetime in this nation. Maybe it's been bad. Maybe we just didn't know about it. Maybe it wasn't. The press didn't cover it. A lot of it's social media. Probably we hear about it more every day than we do. But what's your take on it? You're about the same age, bro. And I tell you, it's a violent world out there, isn't it?
You know what, Christopher? I mean, these Democrats are so evil. I mean, so evil that they created these sanctuary cities to protect immigrants. But what's behind these sanctuary cities? The truth is that these places is where most of the crime is happening, because they let these criminals out of jail. They go to jail for a week, then they're out. They go again, and then they are out again. And these supposedly sanctuary cities, it sounds like it should be a good place to live. Well, it's not. They're the worst places to live in the USA, and that's thanks to the Democrats. And I believe that crime in the USA, I really don't believe that crime is going to go down, Christopher, as long as we have a bunch of Democrat governors and Democrat mayors in the nation.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones that allow crime.
Let me ask you this, and this has to do with Texas. I had Bianca on the show here a few months ago. I hadn't talked to Marie in a while, but we were all down there during the time of the border feedings and really got to meet a lot of great people that are defending the border. Is the morale better with the border agents along the border right now down there? I know that with ICE, they're under a great deal of threat, but what you've heard from that area, is it fair to say that the morale has ticked up under Trump with the border agents?
You know what? It is. This is a fight between good and evil. Let me tell you something. All the Trump supporters in the Rio Grande Valley, we are happy, with what ICE is doing, not only down there, but all over the nation. We are happy and we support them and we love them and we pray for them and everything. But Democrats, they really know how to take advantage of this because they twist, the idea, or not the idea, they twist the, how can I say it? We know ICE is an agency to protect you and me and to protect the nation, okay, from all these criminals.
Right.
Well, the Democrats, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, and especially right now, the Democrats running for office right now, they are using this as a political gain and just demonizing ICE like the worst guys in the country, And the sad thing, this is the sad thing, Christopher. We only have two Hispanic channels or two Spanish channels in the nation, okay? Or national channels like Telemundo and Univision. And they are Democrats.
Right.
And they are communists. And they support all the Democrat people running for office. So when a Democrat says something about ICE, they just extend the news and they add a little more. And it is a fight, right now in the Valley. I'm really praying for Monica de la Cruz. I'm praying for Mayra Flores. I hope she wins again. I really hope and pray that Monica de la Cruz wins again. Now they put this guy, he's a star in the Valley or in Texas. He's a Spanish country music singer, Bobby Pulido, running as a Democrat against Monica. And I put a comment on his Facebook the other day, and I said, you know what? I like the way you sing. You're a good singer, this and that, but you know nothing about politics. And just running as a Democrat makes you look bad, So,
right.
So, but people that is not involved in the political arena, they believe what he says, and that's the problem. So we're in the middle of a fight again in the Valley, again, between Republicans and Democrats. And what can we do, Christopher? We cannot stop working in what we have been doing, and we have to pray.
We do have to pray, buddy. We have to pray. Listen, we're so grateful to have you. I know it's late tonight. We won't keep you much longer. What do you tell us what you're involved in doing right now, and tell us what you're doing in Texas. I know you're there for some political campaigns. Do you? I will ask you this about the upcoming midterms. Are you buying the media's narrative that Republicans are in trouble in the midterms, or do you believe that there's enough people that are going to really hold the Democrats responsible for all this lawless activity and these riots and this fraud in Minnesota, that they see through what the Democrats are trying to do? I know we're agreeing with what the Democrats are trying to do. The question is, do you believe people will see through it and keep a Republican majority in November?
You know what, Christopher? I'll be honest with you. The Democrats, they have taken advantage of what ICE is doing, all over the nation, and they have poisoned, the people with lies. And I think it's gonna be very difficult, to win, or for our Republican candidates to win. But at the other hand, this is what I believe, that the people, including Hispanics, okay, or any race, the people that open their eyes since 2018, when you came down to the valley, 2019, 2000 or 2020, and were able to understand the difference between the two political parties, that people will always vote Republican from now on. They will never change. Never, ever, ever. So what do we have to do? We have to continue working really with the Hispanic community, with the pastors, and with the Christian people. The only sad thing is that the pastors, especially the Hispanic pastors, they're not open to the to know more about the political system in the nation. They are not open. They preach, receive the Lord because that's the only way you can go to heaven,
Right.
and it is the truth. I mean, that's the truth. But they do not get involved in saying, "Hey, go vote because we have to save the children from abortion or stuff." They know nothing about that, or if they know, they don't even mention it, and that's the worst thing.
Well, I think that it suffices to say, buddy, that that's why we have people like you out there fighting. That's why I'm glad to get you on the show and just let you encourage us to keep our voices and keep them loud against this stuff. And I do appreciate you, man. Listen, I'm gonna let you go tonight. When you maybe as we get further into the winter and the spring, we're gonna get you back on. I'd like to do a panel maybe one night with you and Bianca and get the old gang together and talk about these things. And are you affiliated with any one group right now, or are you just doing all this on your own?
You know what? Of course, I'm part of Latino for Trump, Latino for America First, and this coming, let me see, Monday morning, I'm gonna fly to Florida. I have an invitation to go to Mar-a-Lago, and I really don't know if President Trump is gonna be there. I hope he's there, but it's gonna be the first Hispanic event in Mar-a-Lago in history.
Okay, good.
And the president, he's very happy about it. Don't believe me, but this is what I heard, that Marco Rubio wants to be there with us. I hope that I'll be able to meet him. And after that, I'll come back to the campaign here in Rockwall, Texas, real close to Dallas. I'm helping a friend. His name is Paul Bonder. He's running for Congress, and he's a great guy, good conservative man, and that's the reason I came. But Christopher, and you know what? You might remember my friend Lydia Dominguez from Vegas.
Yes, I remember. Yeah. Yes.
Well, she's running for also, for Congress in Clark County. I have not spoken to her lately, but the last time we spoke, she wanted for me to go to Vegas and help her in her campaign also.
Okay.
And we're trying. I'll tell you one thing. The more conservative people we have in office, of course, the better. But it makes a big difference if we put a few Hispanics up there. That will help us fight against this evil indoctrination in our community.
Totally agree, buddy. Totally agree. Yeah. Listen, we're praying for you. And next time you go to Mar-a-Lago, now you better, if you catch a plane, you better fly through Knoxville and pick up your brother from another mother, because I better be going down there with you. That's all I got to say. You're always welcome here in Tennessee, man, whenever you come through. And we love you, and I appreciate you for giving us your time tonight. I know it's late. And listen, I'm going to get you back on soon, and we're going to talk. We're going to pick this up, and we'll get with you on some things because I want to come see you at the border again this year and do some shows with you from down there live again. God bless you, Rorlando. I appreciate you, man. You have a great night now.
Yeah, big hug for you and blessings for all your followers. God bless you. God bless America. God bless President Trump. And we cannot stop fighting.
Amen, buddy. I'll agree. God bless, Rorlando. Have a good night now.
You too. Bye.
Orlando Rodriguez, everybody, put some fire in that house. I'm glad the phone, the line held up there. We always have the worst reception here in these hills sometimes, and that sounded pretty good tonight. Sorry, our feed froze just for a minute or two there. We're grateful to see everybody tonight, and good to see Charlotte Brown in the house over on Facebook. Charlotte, good to see you, dear, and grateful for Rorlando. And we're grateful for you all tonight. We're not going to keep you long tonight. We're going to have a very special guest tomorrow night. My son, Brandon McDonald. We were going to do it tonight, but they had a little oopsie daisy at the house and just couldn't come on tonight. But we're going to be having him at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on a Friday night. And then we're not sure what we're going to do after that. But we hope that you'll come back and join us. And, of course, we'll be back here in the morning on the Bible study, 10 a.m. Eastern on the McFiles Faith Network, a weekend full of faith shows. And then we got a great lineup coming up next week. Pastor Eli Hendricks Monday night. And Eric Karen will be with us next week. Anthony Branco, the cartoonist. Magdalene Rose will be back. Leslie Mill will be back. James Akers will be back. Others that we hadn't had in a while we're trying to get. Darius Mayfield, my dear buddy from Philadelphia, who we helped clean the streets with back in 2019. He's going to come in and check in with us and tell us what's going on in the world. And we're trying to get some of our older guests back and that we've sort of lost contact with over the years, and they're all excited about coming back. So we're grateful for Rorlando tonight, and we hope that you enjoyed what he had to say. I know that when we hear Rorlando, we think, well, he's down there on that Texas border. It don't affect us. Everything, folks, listen, everything that goes on that border affects us. It affects every single one of us in this country. And, it's a terrible shame what's happened over the last 4 years before President Trump. It really is. And what has happened is ICE has had almost a unfathomable response, and it's almost unattainable to try to clean all this up in 4 years. It's almost impossible. But they're doing a great job, and I feel like Holman recovering 140,000 kids out of 300,000 kids that were missing under the Biden regime, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment myself. A couple of news stories tonight I want to run by you tonight on Breitbart. That all this is on our news site on the Telegram room, but this story right here caught my attention tonight, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a Satanist named Pagan, and there he is. That's a 14-year-old kid, by the way, tonight. Crime don't start. They never do start old, do they? 14-year-old with satanic affiliations was arrested Saturday in Winona, Florida, charged with terrorist threats and the possession of child pornography. 14-year-old. The teen's name is Jose Pagan Jr. How do you figure that? The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department made clear the terrorist threat consisted of a written or electronic threat to produce a mass shooting or an act of terrorism. The Sheriff's Department noted that Pagan had access to weapons and was planning to conduct a mass shooting at a church near his home in Winona. Fox News 13 pointed out he indicated that he was linked to a nationally recognized neo-Nazi satanic hate group known as the Temple of Love. And we're following this story here. We don't know if there's any more developments on this. He was 14, according to this. The Sheriff's Department, Chad Krosner, says, don't let the age of the suspect diminish the seriousness of these crimes. There's no such thing as being a helicopter parent. There's no such thing as overparenting. Make sure you're monitoring your child's online activity, who they're associating with, and who they are talking to. And now they're thinking about basically charging him as an adult, and we'll just see how that plays out. This story right here, over here to the right of me, Rand Paul, for whatever reason, has lost his natural-born cotton-picking mind. Not that he ever had one. He is the most pathetic excuse for a senator, and he's just to my north. But he's out there screaming tonight that ICE wearing masks are inappropriate. And he says, I think the main thing, if you want to trust, if you want to trust to develop again. I'm not somebody who wants to abolish ICE. I want ICE to behave within the rules and enforce the law. But I want them to behave in a normal national law enforcement manner. And then Rubel asked him, do you think it's okay to wear a mask? And he says, I think that anonymity and wearing a mask leads to less responsible behavior. I want to just say this to Rand Stupid Paul. Mask wouldn't have to be worn, Mr. Paul. You're talking about acting in a responsible behavior. Why don't you speak to the irresponsible behavior of people like Renee Good and Alex Peretti? And there's a lady tonight that's been another person that came close to getting killed, but got arrested tonight for doing the same thing that Renee Good was doing and Peretti was doing. Why don't any of these politicians talk to the irresponsible behavior of the protesters, the people that are doxing ICE, the people that are filming ICE, trying to get information on them? You put a picture up on social media, 15 minutes, somebody's got an address where they live, their families live. Why don't you ever, any of you, talk about the irresponsible behavior of the lawless? That's why they wear masks. It's not inappropriate. No, what's inappropriate is your senatehood, Mr. Paul. You being a senator is the most inappropriate thing in America. I am so disgustingly sick of these politicians supporting those tearing our nation down. And I see these comments, and it just irritates me to no end. It irritates me that we can be that stupid in Washington. It's like we take stupidity as a challenge. It's like when we say don't put people up there that are not qualified for leadership. And it's like you say don't do stuff that's stupid, that they take it as a challenge. And don't say things that are stupid. They take it as a challenge. That's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. That the masks are inappropriate. Mr. Paul, they wouldn't have to be wearing masks if your party would get some you-know-whats and enforce the laws of this country and stand behind ICE and put these you-know-whats in jail instead of coddling them, instead of going on CNN and going on these left-wing media outlets and placating these people that all they want is anarchy, chaos, and death. And let me say this tonight, folks. I hate the fact that people have gotten killed. I heard Holman yesterday, day before. He's doing his best to walk this fine line between not seeming cold toward those that have been killed and enforcing the law. And it's hard to do that because the people that got killed were doing things that caused them to get killed. ICE is not arbitrarily going out and shooting people. ICE is not going door to door and dragging people out of their homes without cause. And I heard Bill Maher the other night. Well, these people that are going into the grocery store and hauling Mary out that's been here 14 years and she's illegal and she's not done nothing wrong. Well, Bill, do you have to let me draw this in crown for you? If they're here illegally, they have done something wrong. They have come into our country illegally. And I look at Rorlando. I've stood side by side with him. We've stood on the Rio Grande Valley. We've literally seen cartels cross the river. I've seen boats. I've seen the boats, folks, that they were bringing people over. It was a nonstop onslaught for 4 years. Open door. Come to America. Come, and I don't care whether you got a passport, whether you're here legally, whether you're a crook, criminal, terrorist. It don't matter. Come on in. And you've got some dangerous hombres, and you've got some dangerous people that would just as soon slit the throats of ICE agents as good as look at them. But we're worried about their mask. We're worried about their mask. Until there's an overhaul in this country and our political system, this country is teetering on a situation that we've never seen in our lifetime. And I'm telling you something, it is bad. But you can't very well blame the society for it when you got leadership like this. I've got no respect for him. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. But let me just go on record and tell Mr. Paul and all of his cronies in D.C. the masks are not inappropriate. They wouldn't have to be wearing them. They wouldn't even have to be on the streets if you all would be doing your job in Congress. And I'm so sick of Pam Bondi on Fox News and Kristi Noem on Fox News and getting their TV minute and not doing anything. I'm not saying they're not doing anything. There are some things being done. I want to say this to Tom Holman tonight. He made a mistake. It's just my opinion. I would have never backed down from Minnesota. I would not have pulled those 700 agents off the street. I wouldn't have done it. The media is not going to dictate to me, if I was the president tonight, and Department of Homeland Security, and the Attorney General of the United States, the media and lawless people and lawless governors and lawless mayors and lawless attorney generals of states like Keith Ellison are not going to dictate to me how I do my job to rid this country of people that are breaking the law. That's the difference in President McDonald and the one we have now. And I love President Trump. But it's a mistake to cower down to these cowards. ICE is going to make mistakes. But ICE is here to get the illegals off the streets. We wouldn't have to worry about them making the mistakes if we didn't have an illegal alien problem infesting our nation. The border is secure now. But we've got about probably 5 to 10 million running around the country killing people. And that's my 2 cents. By the way, right here, just today, 4,000 illegals arrested just in the last few days across Minnesota. 4,000. Folks, that's an army. That's an army. They could take over Minnesota. An army of 4,000 people could do a lot of damage. Think about it, folks. We only had 19 hijackers. What they did on 9/11. You got 4,000 illegals, most of whom are probably got criminal records. I wonder if Rand Paul is considering that inappropriate. I'm wondering if the Dems consider this inappropriate. All the Dems want tonight is us to vote without ID. Let me tell you something, neighbor. You can like this, lump it. You do not have a right to vote in the election of the United States of America if you're here illegally. I don't care. I don't care what Rankin and Schumer and Waters and AOC and Elon, who needs to be in jail tonight for immigration fraud and probably welfare fraud and a lot of other frauds in Minnesota tonight. But because we've got a feckless Congress and she should be off at any congressional hearing. At the minimum, she should have been kicked out of Congress long ago. She should be spending the night for the next 15 years in jail for embezzlement and fraud. But because, again, we've got a feckless DA and we've got a feckless United States government tonight that's not going to enforce the law, it's just gotten under my skin, folks. It's just not good stuff. And I see these things, and the Democrats are going to shut the government down because in their world, unless ICE demask, and they've got to go get warrants to take an illegal off the street, which they should not have to get a warrant to take an illegal off the street. I can tell you right now, that ain't going to happen. And these Republicans, if they cave to it, every last one of them need to be voted out. Every last one of them needs to be voted out. Now, I've said that tonight. I'm going to take a few of your questions. And, Bear, I'm with you. I'm with you. We're in serious trouble. We're in serious trouble tonight. We sure are. Dennis, your question about whether Rand Paul's dad would have to say about Rand's position, his daddy Ron is worse than him. I think Ron would be right there. Apple off the tree. Apple off the tree. And that's a great question, but I don't think that Ron would be any different than Rand. I think that they both come from the same. They're libertarians. You got to realize Rand Paul's libertarian. He's not a Republican. He runs under the Republican ticket, but he's libertarian. So is Ron. And folks just weird. Folks just weird. It's a good question. All right, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes if you got any questions, anything you need to say tonight. While you're good to see you, Lane Willard, tonight. Good to see you, buddy. Cleo's in the house tonight. It's good to see you, dear. Bless you tonight. Grateful that you're here tonight. I do want to make an announcement tonight, folks. I know a lot of you know Jason Miller, and we'll be mentioning this more this weekend, but I feel led to mention it tonight. Jason had to have emergency brain surgery today. He's in a Nashville hospital. He's doing well, but we need to really keep him in prayer tonight. I talked with Kim. He came through the surgery okay. He's resting tonight. We will know more tomorrow. The doctor seems to believe that whatever was going on up here, it was a medical issue. They seem to have gotten it fixed. They hope, but anytime you deal with that kind of surgery, that's deep stuff. And our deepest prayers for my dear buddy Jason. Jason's just got a gift, and he tells me all the time. He says, I know people think I'm crazy. He said, but I get these downloads. He calls them downloads, and he says I just see things, and something will happen, and he said it's just like I'll see something, sometimes in numbers or names or letters or whatever. And I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. It ain't got to be your cup of tea, but the man is a precious man, and he's my friend. And I'm very deeply saddened that all this today happened, but I'm grateful he's okay. And please remember him in your prayers tonight. We'll be praying for him Sunday and so forth tonight. But please remember him. Also, Chris Aquila, her dad, her precious father, Bill Mattawill, passed away this week, and our prayers for our sister Mac as well. So we've just had a lot of things that have hit different people related to the show. And please remember those situations tonight. And I appreciate you praying for Jason Miller tonight. If you will do that for me, we'd appreciate it. All right. Don't seem to have no questions tonight. I'm going to let you go. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm sorry for raising my voice. This stuff burns me up with our politicians. We're literally handcuffing the very people that are trying to keep us safe. That the Dems are as lawless and as ungodly and as satanic as you can get in a political party. And the Republicans just hand them the ammunition every time. And the Dems take power. Country gets sick of it. Throw them out. Then they put the Republicans in. Republicans get in promising us the world. They get feckless. And then the country throws them out and puts the other bunch back in. And that's where we're headed. And it's like this treadmill. It's just like this treadmill that we're on in this country every 4 years. And until that stops, you'll not see any progress in this country. I'm just concerned about the church tonight. And I'm going to repeat what Rorlando Rodriguez said. If the church would do its job, it wouldn't matter what Chuck Schumer says. Because Chuck wouldn't have a voice on that floor. And no Democrat would. If the Republicans, and I'm not saying the Republican Party is the savior, we're not, but for the balance of power, if Christians went out and voted right and put good Republicans in office and backed the ones that had some common sense, you see a different country. Politics ain't our answer. But I tell you what, putting people in charge that's got some faith value to them will make a difference in this country, at least while the church is here. Now, when the church is gone, the nation can have its utopia hellhole because Chris won't be here. And whatever happens to this country will be the country's decision at that point. But as long as we Christians are here, we got a say in this nation's future. And we need to start becoming serious about that and interceding for our country. Or as Bear says, we're going to be more than just in trouble. We're not going to be in existence. You can't have a country without law. You cannot have a country without law. You can't have a country without law. And Bear, you're so right. What is disturbing is it seems very few people are seeing what's going on. That is absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Politicians are politicians. People in D.C. are people in D.C. The Epsteins of the world are the Epsteins of the world. But what scares me is that Christians can't discern between good and evil. That's a deeper problem. That's a deeper problem, my friend. It's good point. Good point. I'll agree with that. All right. No other further questions, and I will bid you adieu on tonight. President Trump, I want to play one video for you. It's just a quick one, and then we're going to say goodnight. He said something today at the National Day of Prayer, the prayer breakfast. I wish we would have been there today, but listen to what he had to say. We're going to say goodnight. There's going to be an event May the 17th in D.C. They're going to have a national prayer day in D.C. It's not going to be the National Day of Prayer that we normally have in May, first Thursday of May. This is something else. But it's heading into the 250th anniversary of our country. But Trump said something today at the prayer breakfast that was very intriguing. I want to leave you with this tonight.
To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people... Yeah, thank you very much. It's good. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it.
Yep, and he went on to say that we need God's help. And on May the 17th, there's going to be probably millions of people. I wish I could go. I've got a wedding I've got to do that Saturday. I'm not going to be able to attend. But what we're going to do that Sunday, that'll be a Sunday, May the 17th, we're going to have a special prayer event online in coordination with the event at the mall that weekend. And we're going to have a time of prayer to rededicate this nation as one nation under God. And it will be a very patriotic time during that time. And we hope that you'll enjoy it. And we'll be giving you more details about that. But I wanted to let you know that that's coming May the 17th and so forth. God bless you. God bless this great nation of America tonight. God bless your families. Please be safe out there. Whew. I'll see you back here tomorrow. My dear son, Brandon McDonald, will be our guest tomorrow night early, and then we'll have a news show tomorrow night. May get Leslie Milwee back on. She was with us last Friday night, did a great job. So we'll see who's going to appear tomorrow night late. But whatever the case, we will see you back here tomorrow in the morning on the Bible study. Have a good night out there. Good to see everybody that's been with us tonight. May the Lord bless you. Have a good night. Put some fire in that house if you enjoyed Rorlando. And may the Lord bless you tonight. We got a real way to heaven. I'm going to go out with this song tonight. I think this is a pretty good song. We ain't played this one. This is off of our hymn project, number 5. And I like this song a lot. And this is an old hymn. And I think that it just says, Lord, guide us as we get there to this railway. Have a good night, everybody. And be blessed tonight. Be blessed.
Life is like a mountain railroad with an engineer that's brave. We must make this run successful from the cradle to the grave. Watch the curves, the fields and tunnels. Never falter, never fail. Keep your hand upon the throttle and your eyes upon the rail. Blessed say, Savior, thou wilt guide us till we reach that blissful shore where the angels wait to join us in that great forevermore. As you roll across the trestle, spanning Jordan's swelling tide, you behold the Union Depot into which your train will glide. There you'll meet the superintendent, God the Father, God the Son, with the hearty, joyous plaudit, weary pilgrim, welcome home. Blessed Savior, thou wilt guide us till we reach that blissful shore where the angels wait to join us